Okay, hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. So in this video you'll see me having problems with the Piko controller. And of course I had no idea what the problem was. I only saw that it was working badly when I was turning it left. And you'll see me testing it with the meter, testing it with a light bulb, and you'll also see it getting worse as I do the tests. So there was definitely a problem with that controller. Then after the tests, and you keep your eye when you watch, and the video is part in English, part in Italian, because I also thought I might have to send it back to the seller. You know, I bought this thing in March. Some time has passed, you never know. It was an eBay seller, a professional one, but anyway, an eBay seller. Guarantee things. You want to try anyway and show and demonstrate what the problem is. Considering I'm a YouTuber, apparently, don't know if that has any value, but I do have a channel where I show how things work, and I'm trying to be a serious person anyway. That's my at least that's what I try to do. Anyway, the whole point is that you go through the whole video. It's not really very exciting, but you get to the end. At the end I explain what the problem was, and just keep your eye on the knob. Look how that knob is kind of wobbly, and that'll give you a clue what the problem was. Dato che il video è anche in italiano, il video è parte italiano, parte inglese, non è molto ordinato, alla fine spiego solo in inglese, perché era passato tempo e non mi ricordavo più che avevo fatto bilingue. Comunque, ho avuto problemi con il regolatore Piko, perché girando la manopola a sinistra cominciava a funzionare male. Poi vedrete nei video, nella parte anche in italiano, che in bilingue non funzionava, aveva problemi. Ovviamente ho fatto un video che fosse bilingue perché pensavo di dover chiedere una sostituzione al venditore professionista su eBay, da cui l'ho comprato a marzo 2025, ora siamo in ottobre, e ho detto meglio fare un video che sia il più comprensibile possibile per far vedere che onestamente gli giro il link, mal che vada mi dimostro che vabbè, non è servito alla fine, per fortuna. E alla fine, nell'ultima parte del video, che però è solo in inglese, perché ieri sera ero talmente cotto dopo una consegna di un lavoro lunedì mattina alle 2:30, che non ho pensato di farlo bilingue. Comunque sia, voi tenete d'occhio nelle varie prove che faccio nel video, tenete d'occhio quella manopola che è un pochino ballerina, e quello già dovreste già capire qual era il problema. Un problema di natura assolutamente meccanica, niente a che vedere per fortuna con l'elettronica. Quindi il nostro regolatore Piko funziona benissimo. Buona visione, enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. So I've got a problem with my Piko controller. I bought this new must have been March or April this year, so it's bought new from an online seller, and it's a professional seller online on eBay, and I've not used it very much. You've used it, you've seen various occasions when I've used it. I've never dropped it on the floor, never ever dropped it on the floor, and it has stopped working. So it stopped working. It stopped working properly, because if I turn the knob to the right, and I'll show you, we see that the Lima locomotive, the E424, is perfectly controllable at slow speed. If I turn it to the left, you watch that locomotive. I'll put the locomotive more over there, that way you can see it better. Right, I'm at 0. Turn, turn, turn. The locomotive starts with a jolt when we get the controller. So here it's okay, stop. Here, and you see that I'm having serious problems at controlling the locomotive. So if I go back here like this, see that it's coming. It's a Lima locomotive, so it anyway always needs a surge of voltage to start, but this is a very well maintained and very good performer. And look, and if I turn it down, it's very irregular, see? So I've tested it with a meter, the multimeter. Practically, when I'm in the range between here and say here, the multimeter reads 0 and it starts from 6. So there's something seriously amiss with this, and I checked the footage of the test. Remember I made the test video of the E424 and the BB67000, because I thought that maybe it might have stopped working. It was the first time I was using it for some time, for over a month. I think I used this here last in September. It was working perfectly well. I've never dropped it on the floor, never ever dropped it on the floor, and which is incredible. It's been on the table, not in the sunlight, so perfectly looked after. And this thing here has started to misbehave, and you can see in the test video that when I'm running, in particular the E424, but even the BB67001, in turning the knob, turning the dial to the, see, it should continue crawling, and it's not crawling anywhere. It's absolutely no use. Here is good. We can actually continue the test, so you can see that it's not working properly. Let's continue testing it, because I'm making this video because I'm going to be showing this to the seller. In fact, I should actually be making a video in Italian, but I suppose I'll make a wee tail end in Italian as well. Let's get a 5-pole motor locomotive. Or, wait a second, let's turn the locomotive round so that we don't say that it's a locomotive. The problem that it goes faster in one direction than the other, because it's not the case. The locomotive goes exactly right. Turn it round. Same problem. Let's go to the right. It crawls, no problem. Starts at rocket speed. Let's change locomotive. Let's get a very reliable locomotive. What will we get? We'll get a locomotive with a nice, reliable 5-pole motor. One that always behaves very well in all circumstances. There we go, Kleinbahn D120. This is a guarantee for good performance. So I'm just going to show you right now. We'll get this Lima off the tracks. Let's bring it over here. And look how well it goes in this direction, no problem at all. It's crawling, it's beautiful. points now, of course, but that doesn't matter. Right, we'll just park that over there like that. This is the insulated siding. Which siding currently is not insulated, so we'll see what it does here. No problem this way. Goes too fast that way. So let's insulate this siding. I'll just prove that the siding is insulated by doing that, switching it off. And now we'll take the nice Kleinbahn locomotive. We'll reverse it. This goes in the opposite direction. We know that this one here, this is wired the other way around. Kleinbahns are wired, so this direction is going nice. Turning it to the right is nice and well behaved, very good crawler. Turn it the other direction. Much. Even more noticeable in this case. See? Let's go towards the right. Perfect crawling, no problem. Let's turn it this way. Yeah, tuck. So it begins at 6 volts. So this has definitely got a problem. So we're going to go and get this and when you say it, we'll go and check it with the multimeter now on the desk. Buonasera, benvenuti a Patrick's Models and Transport. Allora ho un problema con questo controllore regolatore Piko, trasformatore regolatore Piko, che ho comprato nuovo verso marzo-aprile di quest'anno, e tra le altre cose non mi è mai nemmeno caduto per terra, quindi veramente sempre funzionato bene, conservato bene, nessun problema, e mai lasciato al sole, tutte queste cose qua. E ho notato, poi il resto del video più lungo è in inglese con tutte le prove tecniche, anche con un'altra locomotiva Lima, che al momento è sul binario isolato, che girando il nostro pomello verso destra, qui abbiamo una locomotiva Kleinbahn con un motore a 5 poli Mabuchi molto che cammina veramente molto piano. Adesso andiamo nell'altra direzione. Giro il pomello verso sinistra, non succede niente finché arriviamo qua. Addirittura adesso non sta succedendo proprio nulla. Adesso ha proprio smesso di funzionare del tutto. Ah, perfetto. Ora proprio non va proprio più. Ha smesso di funzionare. Quindi questo proprio funziona solo in una direzione adesso. Perfetto, quindi non va proprio non va. Adesso andiamo sulla scrivania e lo controlliamo con il multimetro. Facciamo una bella altra prova. Locomotiva ma non va proprio. Giriamo la locomotiva tanto per essere sicuri che non sia un problema di locomotiva, ma non è un problema di locomotiva. La locomotiva funziona benissimo. All'inizio del video, che è la parte in inglese, funzionava ancora cominciando da qui. Adesso ha smesso di funzionare. Questo oggetto dovrebbe essere in garanzia, quindi garanzia del costruttore, e ora mi rivolgerò al venditore, che è un venditore professionista su eBay, e chiederò spiegazioni e manderò questo video a riprova del problema. Andiamo a fare le prove col multimetro. Bene, facciamo la prova col multimetro. We'll now check this with the meter. Giro a destra il pomello, I'm turning the knob to the right, e abbiamo voltaggio, we have voltage, from 0 to 14,15, da 0 a 14,15. Torno indietro, regolo come se stessi guidando la locomotiva, 1,8, 2,70 eccetera. Torno a 0. Tra le altre cose lui non azzera mai, rimane sempre 0,11. Ecco, adesso mi dà 0. Vado nell'altra direzione, niente. Fino a fine corsa, all the way down to the end of the scale, nothing. All'inizio del video era 0 fino a qua e prendeva 6 volt qui e arrivava fino a 14,15. Qua ha smesso di funzionare e questo è nuovo. This is new, so it's not working. Bene, facciamo la prova finale. Now we'll make the final test. Ho collegato al trasformatore, al regolatore, una lampadina da uso fermodellistico JUF da 12 volt, quindi questa è una lampadina da 12 volt, e vediamo come si comporta. Se io giro il mio la manopola verso destra, vediamo che si accende. So we're doing the final test with a 12 volt JUF light bulb. Torno indietro, I'll go back to 0, giro nell'altra direzione, turn the other way, absolutely nothing, proprio niente, non funziona. Torniamo qua e vediamo che si accende. So, go back here, it lights up. Questo ha smesso di funzionare dopo pochi mesi. It stopped working after a few months. Right, I'm going to explain you what happened with the Piko controller, because you've seen this in the video. As I told you at the very beginning of the video, I had started having problems with the controller when I was testing locomotives. When I was testing the E424 over there. Finished the video anyway with the 131TB locomotive, the Hornby 8 show, with a rather thirsty and noisy XO4 motor, because my nephew was visiting today. My nephews were both here. The bigger one, he wanted to have it. We played with the train set. First time he used the train set, he really enjoyed himself. Very a natural talent for train sets. Good slow running. He understood about the points, the switch gear. So good, promising. Anyway, and of course, going back to of course this is not scripted, I can't remember what I'm talking about. I had noticed, yes, that the controller was misbehaving, and was misbehaving when it was going in the other direction. So what was the problem? Of course, initially I was rather annoyed, because I thought, oh no, this is new and it's not working, and you've seen all the testing I did, bilingual, pretty annoyed. I thought I would have to maybe send emails and things. It's very simple what had happened. After I finished the testing, I had a good look at this thing here and to see how I could get the thing opened. And there was absolutely no way, no screws, nothing. So I said, at least I'll try and take the knob off and understand what's underneath. So when I took the knob off, the external part just unclips, and there's actually the knob, the proper knob under here. This is just the external grip, shall we say. And when this part here, if I pull it off, taking it off now, you see that how it's made. It's designed so that this part here, when turning the knob to the left, it presses down on the inversion switch, because this is a switch that inverts the polarities. This switch here. If you don't switch this, if this switch doesn't get switched down, pressed down, the locomotive will go in the same direction. Whether I turn the knob to the right, then it'll stop. I turn it to the left and it goes in the same direction. Instead, this here inverts the polarities. So what was the problem? That this knob had been fitted in the factory, but it hadn't been pressed down all the way. So this knob here has to be really put on and pressed really very well until it reaches the to be pressed on all the way. Otherwise, in time, the switch was pushing it up, and I'd always noticed it was a wee bit flimsy, this knob here, the knob of the controller. And you see now it works very well. Perfect control. So this was a problem. It was a simple mechanical problem, which I solved. And that's why you've seen me using it like this in the last videos, simply because I didn't have time, because I was too busy working, to finish off this video here. So now all we have to do is get it pressed on really well. It's well pressed on, and now we'll just refit this knob here. Catches with its 3 pegs in the top of this one, and just presses on, and that clips on like that. I'll do it with 2 hands, of course. I just need to press it on, and then once I finish the video, I'll actually see that it works very well. Famous last words. and it got a dirty point in the track. There was nothing wrong with it. In fact, now you can actually feel when it reaches, it stops, and then you go back in the other direction. You're on the point. So that's it. It was simply a matter of this external knob here not being, it had probably all been assembled in one piece, the two parts clipped together and then pushed on. Instead, the knob, the underneath knob, has to be really well pressed on, nice and tight. See that that's already coming off a bit. I'm going to have to press that on really well with my thumb, holding it at the back, and this way this works very well. Of course, it can be even used, it can be used very precisely even without. In fact, if you ask me, I find that it's more, with a smaller knob, it's actually more controllable. So I'll see whether to fit this on or not. I might not even bother. I might just leave it as it is. Today my nephew was using it like this, so he was very okay, and there's a great big arrow there as well, so we'll see whether to fit this decorative knob on, or like this sort of knob cap, like a hubcap, a knob cap, or just use it as it is. We'll see. Anyway, that was that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Cheerio, and see you next time. It's a very long train on a very small layout.